Today we're going over a new UI that I thought was impossible to make. And one where I didn't realize there was an extra library available to Windows user when building out a UI in PowerShell. And someone did a PR today, and we're going to get able to check it out. It's kind of amazing. I'm going to actually pull up my GitHub over here. And kind of show some of the fixes. Now this was actually submitted to me, and it's kind of awesome. So I'm gonna get this pulled up and see how we're doing. How you doing, Goat? Stime, how y'all doing? What a wonderful day. Wonderful day on this Thursday. I am like beat already. I'm gonna just say I think you were first. Because I did literally been editing videos from, I don't know, 9 a.m. this morning to like just 30 minutes ago. So I'm like fried. We'll see how this stream goes. It's probably going to be a hot mess as usual. But I did also create this PR and merge it into main branch, which I can't wait to show off. Here, I'm going to actually just launch it so I can leave it up in the background and people can see the new hotness. It was 5 hours ago. Man, time flies. And boy, is this awesome though. Let's grab the raw file. And we're going to just show the test branch. I haven't pushed this live yet because there's still some things I need to work through. We can probably work through some of that on stream here. Here, let's just, can we put that over? I don't think we can snap really. Good enough. Let's do an IRM and our raw file IEX. And this is the new one. It snaps to the top and it uses a new presentation firmware with actual glowing. Microwin, I briefly touched on this on a past stream, but we were like, man, it was just so much changing that I was like, I can't wrap my brain around it. Offline, I went ahead and looked back and actually talked to Conti, the guy that made this, or at least submitted the PR to me. And we kind of went back and forth a little bit. Hopefully I get to chat with him a bit more. But he submitted a lot of these UI fixes, which, whoa, so pretty. And the cool thing is, like, you can go Control F and type like 7-zip and just get that. Or a Python, and kind of sort through there. Or if like it's a tweak and you're like, hey, where's Edge? And it'll show like just Edge. And I was like, that's kind of amazing with a script. Again, this doesn't install a program. It just runs a PowerShell script. And it's hitting levels I didn't even think were possible. How neat is that? And we finally got a scroll bar and proper sizing so it doesn't shrink on 1366 and stuff like that. And so we have a find feature, a scroll bar, proper theming, a whole bunch of stuff. Now, if we disable like our power theme, let's see if this still does it. Oh no, so it goes back to this one. So this is the light theme, which it's kind of cool. I like it. Okay, so we still have the dark and light themes available. Let's switch back to dark theme, of course. Dark theme looks pretty good. Light theme looks not the best, but still an improvement, I think. And yeah, I'm digging it. And we can just kind of expand this out. I was originally going to cull down some of our selection here, but now I'm kind of like, with the find feature and some of the compartmentalization we have going on, I'm kind of okay with it in its current state. The light theme is awful though. Yeah, I mean, we could drop the light theme altogether. That is something I'm thinking about, but I don't know. There's some people that just love light theme. Now, I'm probably could tweak that out a little bit more for the light theme, but we can look at that as well. Also, the dark theme might be a little too dark. I probably would go with a bit more gray here. Not quite as much contrast. But I mean, nitpicking at that point. Yeah, that's true. The light theme isn't that light anyways. Yeah, but this commit is really amazing, and really what he did when looking through the commit itself, I can show. It was a library I didn't even know existed, and it was this presentation framework that he added. This DLL. This was one of the, like, where a lot of the magic happens in some of his changes when building out the XAML file on the fly using the script, which is really, really neat. So dig that. I think there was one problem with this commit I still got to work through, and that would have been, I think the unit tests were failing, so probably need to look at that. Probably like some documentation piece that maybe he missed on some of the functions he created. That was kind of cool to go through. Microwin, the idea behind this as well is basically just like a tiny 11 that doesn't suck. Like, think of NTlite, but it kind of makes a lot of those. And I think I still got to work through and bug fix some of this, but the framework, the skeleton's there. Now it's just kind of polishing it. So it's still on the test branch. I'm not quite ready to push this to the main branch yet, as we still need to basically fix some of the things. Steps towards WinUI 3. Yeah, and that's another thing. I talked about this. No, I haven't talked about this yet. I think I actually mentioned it on a GitHub issue. I probably will do a video about this at some point in time, but it was over the Microsoft starting to lock down Windows even more, you know, and we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know what kind of form that's going to take. Now, I think I commented on one of these. No, that's just a WinGet functionality. What about... I think the redirect search, nah, that's a good idea, but I haven't implemented that. That's just expanding functionality of Windows to actually utilize default browser instead of always defaulting to Edge, which frankly should be illegal, but alas, it's not. And OneDrive not fully being removed in 23H2. This is something new, and it has to deal with HKCR, the root, and this is new. So what they've done is Microsoft's locked writability to HK or the current root user of your registry. So we still have access to like HKLM, and there should be ways to modify it through HKLM and HKCU, which is current user. However, them locking down root tells me they're getting ready to force all Windows users and lock down quite a few things. And there's always where there's a will, there's a way. We'll find a way around that. But I thought this is kind of interesting that not only is Microsoft not backing down from not adding uninstallers for a lot of their products, but they're making it so it's much more difficult to code around it or write a script to remove things. But again, whenever they do these things, it's like telling the internet not to do something. You never tell the internet what to do, because they're going to immediately go and do the opposite thing. And that's Microsoft for you. Them thinking they can lock this stuff down, they're sorely mistaken. We'll always find a way. There's always a better way. And then the more they do it, just the more popular this type of thing will get. So by no means am I upset by this change, nor surprised. I'm just like, all right, well, the more you resist, the harder this is going to hurt for you. How about a group policy to block OneDrive? You could. I'm finding more and more group policies not really well enforced, and it's only a matter of time before group policy is a moot point, because Microsoft, I think, will eventually patch group policy to be like, hey, is this computer in a physical domain? Is it joined to a domain, or is it in a work group? As soon as they do that check, they're going to omit all group policy. So working with the registry is still the best case scenario for future proofing. But I don't know there. Group policy is very hit and miss as it is right now. Obviously, if it's a home user and you unlock group policy, it rarely ever works. You're better off doing like what's the project? Was it Policy Plus, I think it is. It's open source on GitHub that you could use to do group policy on home machines, which I highly recommend. We explored one stream for several hours trying to get group policy to work on a Windows Home, and it's frankly just not worth it. Revo installer is a good one too. Yeah, that's a way to get around it as well. Dark Sky. I love Revo installer because you can track down the registry entries. And do we have OneDrive installed here? Let's see. I think I've probably uninstalled that. We'll install OneDrive real fast just to kind of see this, because what Windows is this? Yeah, this is 23H2. So this is the latest garbage that they've thrown out. Let's install some OneDrive, shall we? Let's just use my toolbox, I guess. We probably have OneDrive. Let's install it. Why not, right? So let's see what OneDrive gives us on this. On the tweak side, I think I do have a OneDrive on installer. Yeah, OneDrive right here. Let's see what that looks like. So there's that. Let's go over here. We're gonna switch our PR. I guess let's pull. Yeah, this doesn't exist. We should have switch branches, fetch. All right, we're all up to date on the latest branch, and now we can actually look at that. Yeah, we just installed a bunch of crap on our system. Old OneDrive, there it is. Updating OneDrive. There's nothing to update. I haven't connected it to anything. Although I think I do have a Microsoft account, so technically it could grab something. What? I don't know. But a lot of improvements this month. This month's been a really good for WinUtil. A lot of really good PRs. Couple good additions. A little bit more user friendly for sure, which is great. Let's look at the OneDrive uninstaller. Let's see, what was that issue at the very top? Seems this command is broken. Going to HCR. Yeah, Microsoft's now restricting writing to the HCR using set property. Let's see if how valuable this is. Maybe this is an erroneous report. I always like to test. Trust but verify, right? Yeah. Oh, no stream music. Yeah, we need some stream music. Oh, that's a good point. Nobody likes hearing dead silence. I always add it after the fact whenever I cut these up. So yeah, so Dai Young, actually, the OneDrive is actually kind of an interesting bit. We did a long stream setting this all up, but it's had a bit of a journey, to say the least. Let's come over here. I don't know what I was doing. Oh, I was doing a bunch of EverQuest stuff. That's hilarious. Can we just close all? Yeah. All right, let's open up recent WinUtil, and we'll go uninstall OneDrive. I want to say is its own function. Oh, adding draw IO. I haven't got to that yet, Igor. I will though. Oh, nice. Made the switch to Linux. Nice. I'm in old Windows today. We're doing some Windows work. It's nice. Taking a breather from Windows is always a good idea. There's certain things about Windows I do like, and then there's many things that annoy me and make me want to switch back to Linux whenever I'm booted into Windows. It's kind of funny. There's always a honeymoon period, though. Oh, nice. So you're on DWM Go. I still love DWM. It's just so many things. It's just so static. Very few things can ever go wrong. All right, OneDrive. Where are you at? We're going to try our OneDrive utility. I'm sure I made a function for this. I might have we might need to change these functions that were added. They're not really uniform with how we're doing private functions. That's okay. Like I said, it's a pretty good commit. There's still a lot of things to fix, though. All right, let's go OneDrive. I bet I did. Yeah, here we go. So right now we're doing a task kill, killing OneDrive Explorer, copying all OneDrive to root user profile, and then removing OneDrive with a purge, and then removing the leftover data. Yep. Checking the directory is empty before removing. Perfect. Remove OneDrive sidebar. This is where we have our problems. So HKCR, we only have 2 right here, which is the Explorer sidebar. That's not the end of the world, and most of the uninstall should take care of that. So I don't think that's really going to matter too much, but let's just go down into this class. Let's just copy and look at it from a registry point of view. All right, let's see if we can find it. Here we go. This is OneDrive, and we don't have any pinned attributes here, so we're adding to it. Verify. System.pin name space tree. It looks like this might be not valid. Yeah, Goat, I need to set up a direct install for that so it goes right through on the install. Make it a lot more user-friendly. A lot of my projects are like that, though. I get them set up and I'm like, I'll get it done later, and then I never follow back up to make it user-friendly for everybody. A little bit better when I was making videos about everything because it made sure it was very user-friendly whenever I did a video about it. Oh, let's see. I don't think this really matters that much on the HKCR for the removal. Let's run it and see what kind of errors we get. So we'll have this in the background, and let's just do a tweaks, and we'll say remove OneDrive. You can see the OneDrive icon right here. Let's see what that does. We'll have our restore point. Nothing to copy. So we're doing winget uninstall, it looks like. And if we refresh this, yeah, you can see OneDrive's still there in this entry, and it didn't add to it. So it's not able to write to it any longer. And if we look at our Explorer, we don't have OneDrive over here though, so I'm not overly concerned. I think they just changed the way OneDrive works. But the uninstall of OneDrive is working great from the look of it. And I don't see any other run hooks, and it should set up all like downloads. Let's do like a PWM or whatever. Let's just, I guess, do Windows Terminal from here. And if we go PWD, you can see it's not anything like that. If we go back one, I think I did some weird LL command for my alias. I might even remove that because it's slower than dirt. Let's just do an ls. CD documents. And I don't see OneDrive in there anymore. So we should be fine. And if we do PWD there, that's fine. Do we have a find? I never did that alias. Yeah, this is a script, not an app. I guess that's like the biggest thing I always get from people is like, hey, I installed your application. And I was like, no, you didn't. Because it's a script. This is a PowerShell script. There's a lot of limitations from doing it this method. But the thing I do love about it is everything, every single line of code's open source. So no matter what it is, you can see exactly everything. Nothing's obfuscated. Sometimes you got to watch out with these types of scripts though. Like with mine, I always caution people, hey, trust but verify kind of thing. Look at it. Some of them could do like a base 64 encryption in PowerShell that makes it look really wonky so they could hide malicious downloads and things like that. It's still open source and it's not really encryption. It's just obfuscating the actual code. So the best thing, if you ever see a whole bunch of code you don't understand in like a script online or in GitHub, just copy paste that in ChatGPT and say, unobfuscate this. And it'll take that code and spit it out in layman's terms. You can do it for CMD scripts, PowerShell scripts, everything. So if you see code and you don't understand anything about it, have GPT explain it to you. And I think that's really, really good. That's the good thing. Like I always want my scripts to be very easy to understand. Sometimes they're a little on the large side because there's a lot of documentation to them. And I think probably the next thing would be like a full-blown wiki explaining everything. Now, I guess I'm going to lean on you guys for this. What do you all think of using like GitHub? It has its own wiki in GitHub, like the GitHub wiki we could probably add, right? Because there's like a discussions tab, which you could toss into here and discuss, but I want to say there is like a full-blown wiki in GitHub as well. And yeah, that's where I'm kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, wiki GitHub. About wikis, every repository in GitHub comes equipped with a section for hosting documentation called a wiki. So we could build this out a little bit more and kind of document things, I think, a bit better. I think that would help a lot. So you could just add a wiki page, navigate to the thing, under your repository name, click wiki. I don't think we have it on this repository. I think maybe it was something that was added after the fact. Or possibly from like the settings. Is there like a wiki? Yeah, features wiki right here. Let's see. I'm gonna have everybody at chat decide. Would you ever use a GitHub wiki, or have you ever? Is it a good place for documentation, or would we be better off just doing our own web page? That's kind of like where I'm at. I like the idea of a wiki, or maybe a self-hosted wiki at this point. So let's see. I do need to make a new poll. I don't really like Twitch's polls, but they're okay, I guess. There's one I saw the other day where you could just type 1 or 2 in chat, and it was a little bit cooler of a poll. But let's see. GitHub wikis. Yes or no? Yeah, I always go off the README markdown as well. But this GitHub pages with a wiki functionality to it sounds pretty appealing, actually. I think we can make a lot from it. And I could probably reference it from like christitus.com as well. Straw poll is what you should use if you want everyone to be able to do the poll. That's right, because you can't do it on mobile. And there's a lot of mobile ones that don't work on mobile. Straw poll. All right. I'll set that up after this stream. We'll switch to that going forward. Why not both? I think we could do that, but I'd rather just sync, just so for time and productivity management. And we could host one with Hugo on GitHub for sure. That's also doable. We could do like a sub project. So I definitely think we should do a wiki. And since GitHub's already there and everyone already has the project and it's so huge on GitHub, it makes sense just to kind of toss a wiki there too. I think that would be good. I do see a lot of people do use it though. I think if done properly. I think there's a lot of GitHub wikis that were set up and then just never really documented well. And I think we should just go through, start documenting a little bit better, take this time to kind of clean up and just make things more user-friendly. Does GitHub Wiki enable source management to keep sync between Wiki and the latest branch? I'm not sure on that, Igor. That's a really good question. So we have that. What is the next step here? I think we do some documentation. Also, we needed to check on this one. Microwin, I don't think it's working on 23H2. Let's run that in the background just so we can see it go off. I'm pretty sure it's going to give me ADK not found. So yeah, OSC DIMGE is not found on the system. It should automatically launch in the background and grab the Windows ADK. This is a little bit bigger, so I imagine it'll take a little bit longer to download and install. I think it's about a 300 meg package. Ah, no, it bombed out. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Probably have to manually install the ADK. We'll have to take a look on that. How do you think the idea to put set as metered network? I think you shouldn't use set as metered. Metered, it's like a cheesy way to make sure it doesn't download beforehand. So I'm kind of against that. I would say a lot of people want a wiki, by the way. So we're definitely doing a wiki. Now we can explore GitHub wikis for sure, knowing that chat wants wikis. Yeah, I'll add it to the README markdown for sure. Did it work after restarting terminal? Let's see. Let's just launch a terminal. And where's our IRM? We closed that out. We relaunched it all. Let's say we go Win11. Oh, well, let's actually download Windows 11, huh? I think we already have one in our images. Let's just grab that. I don't feel like downloading a new one. Oh, jeez. Oh, cool. I'm already authenticated. I was like, oh, please tell me I don't need to re-authenticate. Where's my Windows ISOs? I never throw away a good Windows ISO. You never know when you need it. Oh, this is all Windows 10, Windows 11. We got 2021. Well, let's just go with a 22H2 Windows 11. I feel like that would be a good starting place. We'll just copy that into our downloads. See, this is why you don't do SMB, folks. 760 megabytes per second. Ooh, that's fast. Not very many people can grab 5 gigs worth of stuff in 5 seconds. Not you lowly SMB users. I kid. All right, so it's mounting. Let's see, what's it give us? Copying all our files in the background. So probably on the front end, some better prompts probably to specify that. It did say in the prompt to close and reopen, but you could probably do a little bit better job. Selected value, Windows 11 home. Ugh. All right, we gotta change that as well. I don't use ZFS. Usually it causes more headaches than I want to deal with on Linux. Yeah, Windows Home Edition, I really hate the fact you can't use GPOs practically at all on it. You can install it, but it's just not the same. Not the same at all. Well, thanks for the tier 1 sub, man. Yeah, and let's see. So we have, okay. So now we can go further. So now we can choose the SKU. Dude, that is slick. Keep Defender, keep Edge. No, let's not keep Edge. Just Defender. It really, yeah. See, the only thing I would do is Defender. I'm tempted to now. No, this is what I would do. This would be my go around. That's pretty slick though. I think I could screenshot this. I think I'll just do a YouTube video. It's the easiest way. It's like the perfect medium. It's what YouTube is meant for. Because while this is a little bit janky, the back and forth a little bit, we can explain in a video where you can say, hey, make sure you do these things in its proper way. I think it'd be fine. Yeah, we can make it auto deselect Edge for sure. The problem with Edge in Windows is more and more stuff starting to depend on it. And I think it's a matter of time before Microsoft forces it on everybody. The big thing is when you remove Edge, you got to make sure you don't remove WebView 2. WebView 2 is needed for like Visual Studio, a variety of Microsoft apps, a variety of different games too, like Halo Infinite, Forza, all required WebView 2. I think somebody wrote me the other day saying they're having problems with League of Legends because they uninstalled Edge, and I was like, oh damn. So that's why I put like big bold letters on under tweaks. Don't do this. But I'm still wanting to do it. I know a lot of other people still want to do it, but at least I'll have plausible deniability saying, hey, I didn't recommend you do that though. So I think we're definitely due for another Windows utility update video. Removing features. R is missing. I don't see that. Might have fat fingered something though. On the bar. Trying to look. I'm looking. Where am I missing the typo? Inside the bracket. Okay. Oh. B2. I gotcha. Chat's like, read the prompt. Hey guys. I barely graduated high school, okay? And English was my worst subject. If truth should be told, you know. All the source code's right on the utility. It's in the latest commit in the test branch right now. We haven't pushed it forward. Here, we can fix that bug real quick. Oh, let's just go B2. Removing feature. Perfect. That's totally my MO, isn't it? Oh, we'll get that later. We'll get that next stream. How many times have I said that? All right. Good little typo fix. No, I did not Microwin. It was actually a submit by I think he was in chat not too long ago. I want to say up here, Die Young, I think. Was it Die Young? Yeah, I don't know if they're still watching. But I think he was the one to actually make the commit. He also did the GUI overhaul too. A lot of like the things that really have propelled the utility forward is thanks to open source. Like a lot of people give me credit. Yeah, I've done the most commits for everything. But a lot of like the really, really good ideas come from the pull requests I see. Some pull requests I don't accept, but I might steal little things from that pull request. Be like, I didn't even know you could do that. That's a brilliant idea. Or some of it comes from issues. But it's all because of the open source nature of it. That's why this tool can become better than any paid tool out for Windows, because of open source, because everything on Windows is typically closed source, because that's where you make all the money, and closed source just can't keep up with open source. And it's just a better with the community. Like there's no Norton community. You don't go like on the Norton antivirus forums and have a big community. Maybe back in the day at one point people supported stuff like that, but these days this is the future. Like the big software companies anymore, I'm sorry, but that's a thing of the past. That's a dead model. And all of them just got super greedy and wanted doing like software as a service, and the software is worse than it used to be, and it's more bloated, and it runs all the time in the back room as some kind of agent where they're probably, selling your information, and then you're also paying a monthly fee. It's like the worst of everything. And that's why I'm kind of like, screw all that. We can do better in open source. Like, is there something this tool doesn't do that you do? Yeah. If not, we can add it. And if I can't add it, I'll go ahead and start making the frameworks of the things I can add. And then somebody will come along and go, oh, Titus, that's pretty jank. I'm going to fix that for you. And I'm going to put a PR up and say, hey, idiot, here's how to do it. And I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. Okay, cool. That's happened I don't know how many times, and I appreciate that. That's super cool. As long as you're okay to be humble. I think open source is a much more humbling experience, because you got to be okay with seeing people smarter than you do commits. And some not so much. You do get some really junk commits. Like probably 50% of the commits I get, I'm kind of like, really, dude, come on. You didn't even test this. I know it doesn't work. But some of them, man, there's some really diamonds in the rough. And that's like this type of commit was what I'm talking about. Oh, man. Symantec. You remember Symantec in Point before... I think Norton bought them out in early 2000s. The original Symantec antivirus from the enterprise one was really, really good, actually. I remember running that back in the server 2000 days. I'm dating myself a little bit there. And there's a lot of trash commits that probably get pushed through. Oh, gosh. All right, we're looking good here. How are we doing on our... It's to the second phase, the remove bloat. So the first one's the AppX provision packages. If you're not familiar with provision packages, that's like the built-in like OneDrive or the baked-in O365. There's a lot of weird provision packages that come with Windows. And then there's like all the AppX packages on top of that, which is typically like Facebook, Candy Crush, all those things. And man, just to think like back in like 2012, thinking that Windows would ship with like Candy Crush is kind of funny. Although, you know, Windows 7 wasn't as good as people remember either. You remember, like I remember a lot of the HP systems shipping with like malware on them. What was it? Web Tangent and some other just, oh my gosh, so much bloat. Some of those early Windows 7 HP systems. I remember those were pretty terrible. Yeah. And the irony is WinUtil's open source is on GitHub, which is owned by Microsoft. Yeah, I know. Yeah, what was it last stream HGH when I accidentally accepted that commit and it pushed it right to production? It was like it was a basic application fix, so it was just changing like the application JSON and also the XAML. So it wasn't that bad. I did have to rebase, which sucks. I hate rebasing. Anytime you do even a little tiny rebase of like 10 lines, it's nerve-wracking because you're like, well, I could just blow up both branches right now. Which I'm like about 50-50 on my rebase. So I don't rebase very often. Or at all if I can help it. But at least you're not calculating Mars rover. Yeah, that would be a mistake. I probably should protect the main, but usually that kicks up a bunch of errors in my my unit tests. Yeah, that's a good one. Keep a stale branch. I need to work on also pushing out full releases. That would be good too. Yeah, it was Conti that did the Microwin commit. We're testing it out right now. This is the first test of the Microwin. Oh, are you doing a Tuesday and doing a Wednesday stream? It's kind of funny. So I think I'm gonna do a Monday, Wednesday stream, maybe just a Wednesday stream, because I'm actually gonna be at my work on Tuesday. They're doing a Thanksgiving party. And they're getting a bunch of stuff catered. And I was like, all right, well, I'll definitely show up for free food, guys. So count me in. So next Tuesday, I'll actually be at my day job. Yeah, thanks for the link there, Monk. Ah, okay. Name change from lab. Okay. Yeah, I try to give shout outs. Anytime I do one of these updates and I accept like a commit from someone, I love to give a shout out to the person that made the commit, one, because that's the right thing to do, but two, it really kind of elevates open source and shows how cool it is. Like the last really big one video I did specifically on WinUtil was the whole change in structure to functions of private and public and breaking everything out into these functions. By doing this, it really made it much easier to manage. But when it first happened, I was like, oh my god, this is such a mind f, because it went from just editing one PS1 script to now having 30 or 40. But after dealing with it for like a month or two, I was like, it's so much better as a modular setup, because if something happens, it's super easy to track down. And then whenever you get commits, you're not going, well, okay, this commit was for Windows or WinGet install, but somehow it's doing a commit now into a different function in this PS1. Why is that? So it's really easy to see bad commits compared to good commits. That, and a lot of people will do still edit like the old WinGet PS1 compiled file, and all those just get flushed out. So anybody that's doesn't understand the structure, all those commits, even if they get accepted, would just get thrown in the garbage. All right, how we doing? Cleanup commit. Changing theme to dark. This only works on activated windows. Disabled sponsored apps. So the copy item here, I see this. What we can do as well is change. Well, that we can fix that. We can also suppress some of these errors, which we probably will do for this. Let's look at that. All right, new is set in local temp Microwin ISO. How big is that, I wonder? Let's just see. So Microwin ISO. Is that there? All right, fine. I don't see it. Let's do a refresh. No. I think I was still working on that goat. I think edge removal still needs a little bit of work. It's close to being done, though. Yeah, this is the same as the debloat. Everything's all in one, Ryan. And my idea here is to just make one utility to rule them all, so to speak. And then we also have a little bit of a lockup. All right. Not quite there. How do we want to do it? It's either still copying, which I don't think it is. We could look at Task Manager. Yeah, no, it's definitely not copying or doing anything in the background. So, close out of that. And let's just CD over into there. Does not exist. Right, temp. Microwin, not there. Okay. Let's try CD temp. Huh. Really? Let's just temp. Do we have Microwin? No, let's try date modified. We have a temp file right here. A bunch of different temp files. No ISO though. No love. Cool. But we have some writing issues here. Yeah, agreed. Definitely a relaxing stream next week. Is Windows 11 a must? I'm still on 10. No, absolutely not. I'd stay on 10. 10 still has support all the way to 2025, so I would stay on it until then. We could try inside of one of the folders. What did we launch this in? Maybe it'd be in that folder. So we launched the... probably in the home folder, right? Microwin log. So it probably would be right here if it was an ISO. That's not big enough for an ISO. That's just a log file. Not the way. You can look at Microwin. So we're just removing a couple files. Deleting Microwin scratch. So it looks like the directory... it expanded, mounted it, expanded all of it using the DISM tool from the ADK into Microwin scratch. And then it bundled it up. I wonder if that's still there. Let's look. Microwin scratch. No, it cleaned it up. So that's not there either. Well, let's look at the copy files and some other backend. There was some problems with copy files anyways. Let's look at that. Yeah, Vim and Windows. Chad move right there. Highly recommend doing Neovide too. Do we have Neovide? Let's go. I think I already have Neovide installed, to be honest with you. Let's just make sure. Neovide's pretty cool. If you're going to want to use NeoVim in Windows, Neovide is awesome. Yeah, it's already installed. So then you can just open log files or whatever directly into NeoVim from like a Explorer instead of the console. No, I didn't do Vim bindings in VS Code. I should. Usually when I have VS Code open, I'm heavily reliant on the mouse. Like a caveman. Yeah, I bet it created and deleted it. Let's just look back over the folders instead of trying to guess. Let's first look at this copy files. So we have the copy item, full file name, destination. All right, that looks good. That also looks good. I don't see anything wrong with that. Let's look at the Microwin code. All right. Now we didn't actually get an error. We just got the whole right here. It was done. Your new ISO's in the temp folder, which it's not. We also got this error right here, the scratch dir. I'm curious to see this. Let's see where that's at in this project as well. And this is the invoke PS1. So we got new item type, force path. Don't really like how that's done like that. It's okay. We can fix it. Probably do like at least a silent continue here. Script is, if this doesn't work for some reason, the script is not being run at the end of the install. Someone knows how to fix this, feel free to modify. Okay. This is just a test. It's made. Okay. Line 99. Oh. Panther. Well, we have environmental variables we should be using. Instead of the scratch directory, probably should be... He's using environmental temps right here, though. Let me think. Let's just close these. Yeah, let's just close... We'll just close others. Don't see any problems there. Make that a little bit smaller for me. And let's just run through line by line, see what we can do. Yeah, ctemp is... I like to use the environmental temp just because you're always going to have write access, where if you specify like a ctemp, what happens if the person doesn't have Windows installed on the C? So you always want to use the environmental variables, which is what he did. So that's all good. So we have the creation of the image right here. Let's fix that. Fix it, Copilot. Let's see what it says. What's the differences? Can you spit me out the differences, please? It's literally just adding C:ISOs. Copilot, you are on drugs. I still love you, but dude, come on. That is not a solution. Where's the chat? Where's the Copilot chat? That is hilarious. That is a thumbs down. Discard, please. AI will end us. As soon as I hear like Elon Musk complaining about Copilot, or not Copilot, like AI in general, I was like, have you used Bard? Or, I mean, GPT does some impressive stuff, but for the most part, I mean, it ain't exactly like ultra, like, yeah, I'm impressed, but it's not like I'm worried for our future because it's incapable of getting a function to work. I kind of still have to massage a lot of the code it spits out. So by no means am I like worried about that. To me, I'm kind of like, yeah, it still has a long way to go. Text generation only supported in that. Okay, well, like what do we have? Let's just say explain code. Let's see if it can explain what's happening. Translate code into Python. PowerShell. Oh, it doesn't even have PowerShell. Well, that's pretty funny. Okay, let's just see if it can. It should tell us, hey, it's using OSDIMG to make an image in there. So, all right, great. Oh, Google's getting sued for the Bard. Well, Bard should be better if it's doing all that snooping. Anytime I've used Bard, it really sucks, though. Like, it has a hard time differentiating languages, especially PowerShell. PowerShell, it does terrible. Oh my gosh, do not feed it PowerShell at all. I mean, it's the popular thing to do right now, Surfcat. Yeah, I mean, it's the nature of our entertainment media right now. And as a YouTuber, I'd say I'm part of that problem. Sometimes you have to make a title that jumps out at people, otherwise they don't click. If they don't click, nobody watches you, so then why'd you make it? I get it, but at the same time, come on. Like, AI is not going to come kill us tomorrow or even next year, or probably in the next 10 years. Maybe if it gets left unchecked for decades, yeah, sure. Yeah, it is funny. It is very, very funny. Yeah, I think right now it's the buzzword of the day. Go back 2 years. It happens every 2 years, guys. Everything was blockchain, crypto this, blockchain that, and yeah, every company was like, we're putting it on the blockchain, and I'm like, okay, guys, a SQL server in like a VPS does not count as the blockchain. Okay, that's just a very big misuse of the word. So you run into these things, like everyone's like, it's using AI to do whatever, and it's the marketing people behind it. The devs behind it are like, what? Oh, whatever. Give me my paycheck. All right, let's I'm giving up on this GitHub Labs thing. I'm thinking there's nothing there. I think what we'll do is we're going to break this out, and let's see. We can't grab the whole, we might be able to grab the whole function. Let's just try to refactor it real fast and see if it'll grab it. It's not that big. Let's see what a refactor looks like. We'll use GPT, sure. I was speaking highly of you, GPT. I wasn't just crapping all over you. Refactor this, my slave. If I go missing, you know AI did it, guys. Right there. Sure, I'll refactor this script to verify. Oh gosh, I love it. GPT will remember this. Oh man, too great. Let's see. We got the function invoke, description. All right. Key refactoring points. Separation of concerns. Each distinct operation is encapsulated in its own function. This makes the code much more modular and easier to maintain. This does look... Initialize Microwin settings, mount Windows image, etc. should be defined here. So it broke out, it wants to break out the entire function into separate ones. I got you. I don't want to do that though. Okay, but readability, reusable components. Do we want to refactor in that method? Probably not. Let's see, the original was not that much. I'm trying to look and think about where this is going. The one thing I'm looking at the Scratch directory where I'm kind of like, we might change the actual location to be inside of like a public folder of some sort, because it might run into some permissions issues, even though you are running as admin. No, I don't think that's it though. No, I think it'll be fine. Yeah, Scratch directory gets declared up here. And this is the sync, which should be using run spaces to do multi-threading to make this happen. Otherwise, if you just run on like one thread, this is going to take a century. So that's why you need that, and why it looks the way it does. Yeah, let me know. Let me know on that, lab. Let's see. Doing a bypass NRO, which is good. Full teams. I got that. This actually can be consolidated for bypassing system requirements. It's actually a lot easier now to bypass like TPM and such. You don't have to do it through lab config anymore. I think all you need to do is right here in the Mo setup. So pretty much all of this could be removed, but it doesn't hurt anything either. If someone uses like an old ISO for like, I mean, I think it was like 21H2. I don't think just Mo setup does it. So you have to, but I mean, most people won't be using that ISO anymore. Well, I mean, I guess we could convert this into like a CMD type thing. Which honestly, when it comes to reg add, I believe these are commands. Probably, well, yeah, because we're doing, we're mounting the registry. Well, instead of refactoring, let's see. Let's take the script again. Let's see if GPT notices any errors. Let's just take this, delete. Are there any errors in the following functions? Yeah, the sync variable is the run space, and it's already properly initialized. Might want to explicitly use $_ instead of PS item. We could try that. Hey, how's it going, Marie? Doing all right, man. Doing all right. Brain's a little shot, but you know, sometimes we got a really cool PR we just took in, and we're troubleshooting why it's not creating a custom Windows ISO for us. Oh, yeah, sorry. Whenever I see a bunch of spam in chat, I just kind of ban first, ask questions later. So, sorry if Humanly Human wasn't a troll. And if he was, well, he's banned now, so it's all good. My WinGet broke again. Yeah, that's Microsoft. Anybody on the 23H2 update, WinGet is broken by default. Although I just installed Chocolatey. I like the Cocoa install WinGet fix the best, but you could also go through the Microsoft Store and update there. Trying to think here. What's the best way to go forward here? I almost want to refactor it completely and break apart the code into separate functions and call them. But oh yeah, I did. Marie. It was like Windows the Archway or something. That video where we just did it all through CMD. Well, hopefully Tech Zero will have this done, man. Hopefully we'll get it going. I think Igor was trying it out. He's almost done with his on his test. I don't really see anything bad here that I was like, yeah, that could do it. Almost everything looks fine to me, but let's add error checking. Add more error checking. Let's see what GPT's enhanced error checking is. We could do try catch blocks, sure. Sync's gonna be verified though. I think that first part's kind of pointless because the script won't even run without sync. The try catch won't be too bad necessarily. All right, let's try to add some more error catching. At the very least, it's gonna clean up the code a bit. I like the. We're not gonna bother with that one because I know that's just pointless to add. This one makes sense with the mount directory and the scratch directory, just to make sure that they do get created before it's trying to write to them. Where I could see this would get caught up is during the run spaces, if like maybe another thread got ahead of the directory creation and it bombed out because of that. It's possible with run spaces because everything doesn't run sequentially. So we'll have a mount directory here. It's gonna mount, but let's try that. For this variable, it doesn't look right because the variable mount directory, I don't think adding exists in the back end. Oh, is there something else there? Yeah. I was like, wait a second, that I copied part of that. That doesn't look right. All right, there we go. Required directories. We're just gonna check to make sure those get created. And then let's do a try. We're gonna do the code, and then we'll do a catch, which is the unload after the finally. Okay. This might fix some of this, it not being sequential. So we're gonna remove in the mounts. We're writing, we're loading the registry, adding specific registry entries, deleting some registries. That's all good. And then we get to here. Bam. So this should all be done in one chunk. Something like this, where it does the try, it mounts it, removes everything. Great. So then we get down to here. Then we do the catch and a finally. The catch shouldn't happen or trigger. So it should look like this. And then finally, we finish with the cleanup and unmount. Then we start it all over again. So that's the unmount, cleanup, unmounting of image. And then I think we do, I don't know if, I think we can do 2 tries here. I feel like that should line up with everything. Yeah. No. Yeah, no, we need to do another try. Okay. So then we're going to do the same thing. Try another try. It's using the same kind of structure. I feel like that would be okay. Then we export the image, mount it, and there we go. Do our ads. And then we'll do the unload after that. So then we got the unmount down here. So then we'll just do the catch and finally. I don't think this is quite right. This is me just kind of pounding around, just thinking out loud. So please don't skewer me for this, but I feel like this is the way it should be done. Again, could be completely wrong. Hopefully I'm not that far off. I forgot to ask that K-Focus laptop you have it is based off of Clevo. Yes, it is a Clevo laptop. I've been trying to use K-Focus scripts. You say K-Force, but K-Focus is what you're talking about on the System 76 laptop. No, that man and his caffeine. I mean, he has like a coffee business on top of it. It's a good investment for him, I guess. Yeah, let me know on that, Monk. We'll see. You know, I think we're gonna just do this try down here. That should be more concise. I don't see any errors. Let's do a compilation. We're gonna compile and then do one last run through. I don't think we're gonna have time to do a full run through, but should be enough. Let's just come on over to WinUtil. Let's do a compile and WinUtil. All right. Microwin, select ISO, 22H2. We'll click open. Should copy our files. See if we see any errors in the background here. All right, we're gonna just remove Edge, keep Defender, start process. See if the mount works or if we run into anything crazy. Yeah, I like the K-Focus team too. I've talked to them a bunch. They keep wanting to send me another laptop, and I was like, no, I'm good right now. I got my laptops, and I'm still using the original one, their 10th gen Intel they sent me, with the 2080 Super and 64 gigs of RAM. Amazing. It's been a great laptop. A little bit on the loud side, but a good laptop. Oh, I did change it to Pro. That's right. It could have been the change to Pro that did it. Framework 13. Yeah, I'll hit up Linus. Be like, hook a brother up. Although he's probably not gonna be handing those out. Definitely not to me. I don't even do hardware reviews. And I would say Gamers Nexus, but I don't think they're getting a preview of that. Yeah. No, I went to LTX. Yeah, I didn't get to like talk to Linus and crew very much though. They were just so overwhelmed with everything. So only like talking and passing basically. But it was really cool talking to a lot of other people there though. A lot of other cool creators I got to chat with and like in depth, which was a lot of fun. Yeah, I've seen the framework laptops. I don't think I'll buy one obviously, but I do like the idea of repairability. So we started this like at 4 o'clock. We'll see how long it takes. I would imagine this would take at least probably 5 to 10 minutes to remove, mount all the features. It's not a bad time frame. Oh yeah. Yeah, we were in the WAN show and they were just having us, we could walk through and touch pretty much anything and everything at his studio. And I was like, man, wouldn't it be jacked up right now if I got there and like mess with the gain knobs or just went back where the XLRs are and just like pulled it out like just a little bit so it wouldn't make connection. So you'd have one dead mic and people would be like, well, I don't know what's up. It's plugged in. Yeah. No, I didn't though. I didn't do that. Tempting, but no. Now, I remember last time we did get a copy error, and I think maybe adding those try catches might fix some of the run space issues. I think it was a run space issue, not a bad coding, because I kept going over the code and I was like, no, this looks right. This looks right. And I think it was more of it running side by side, some of these like copy tasks and things. It was getting ahead of where it should be before starting like an unmount process. And hopefully this fixes that. We'll see. We'll see if it actually cleans it up or not. Yeah, it was cool though. I was walking through there with Chris from Crosstalk, Jeff from Craft Computing, Theo Joe was there. He was all those guys were in my group. Yeah, Network Chuck actually is a local to me. Surprisingly, we haven't met. What is Microwin? I bet I could sum this up. It's like Tiny 11, Tiny 10, whatever ISO you're using. NTlite kind of thing with just sane settings, removing like all the provisioned and apexes. It's basically distributing an ISO the proper way. No telemetry tracking, removes a lot of like the BS internet requirements. So it has like bypass NRO in there. Removes team by default. You know, just like the things that every single user wants that Microsoft just kind of throws up in your face. Yeah, and that's the commit. It's whether or not we can get the ISO working. I think we can. This all looks pretty good. Oh, this is on a ISO temp folder 0. So yeah, this would be super scary if it was my install, but this isn't my install. This is just a mounted install. So while this is doing it and it's mounting it, we should see like a Microwin directory right in here. Microwin scratch. This is everything that it's doing. So it has, here's where it's like got the base ISO. Here's where it's doing the modifications in extracting that version of the install.wim. There's a lot of really cool stuff here. Like I looked over it and I was like, yeah, this looks incredible. If we can get it to the point where it's like just a 2-button press for people to get a good ISO from Microsoft, dude, this would be a game changer. Because the problem with like NTlite, Tiny 11, Tiny 10, you know, you name the project, is there is just so much that can go wrong and so much level of expertise that's needed to make it work that is not really accessible for most of the population. So they end up doing the stock ISO, which y'all know how bloated and nasty that is. Having something like this where it could just be like a couple clicks, start and go, would be awesome. You'd get all the good benefits, and it's free, so you don't have to pay like I think NTlite's $30, and this would pretty much do everything you'd want to do with NTlite. We could also slipstream drivers. We could really take this to the next level once we get the base working really, really good. Yeah, so what's happening here is you have the initial ISO. That ISO gets mounted to Microwin in the C folder, and that's the base file on the ISO. But then you have to do a DISM mount of the install.wim, and you select a specific index. The index is actually this 123, this Windows 11 Home. So then it says, hey, we're using Windows 11 Home. We're going to take that, we're going to mount it, and then we extract all of those files directly into the Microwin Scratch under the C. Those are the 2 folders I was alluding to earlier. And then we make all the registry modifications, stripping out applications there. All those are done. And this is all not by me. I understand what's happening, but I'm just explaining kind of the process, what's happening in the background. This was actually done and tested by Conti. He did the actual commit that Monk linked up in chat earlier. And this would be a full replacement of like MSMG Toolkit, NTlite, all of those. So pretty cool. Very, very cool. As long as we can get it to that stable state where it's always, I still have a lot more tests to do. So I don't anticipate this making it into the main branch just yet. Still a lot of fixes and little things to do, but I think it should be pretty good. Yeah, and you can test it yourself too. Just grab the raw WinUtil file in the root of the test branch on WinUtil. Hopefully, I want to get this pushed out probably before the end of the month. We're not going to go with a full 30-day release cycle like I normally do. We're going to go with like a week or 2-week release cycle on this guy, because I want to kind of get this tested before Christmas and all that, and have it really in place so everybody can kind of benefit from it. I would like to know, is the claim of Windows Pro and workstations have enhanced security? Kinda. It's weird. So it's a setting that, yeah, I guess they kind of do by default, but everything's kind of, I look at Windows and it's all looks the same to me. So it's not out of the box. The answer is yes, but really there's not much difference between the two. Because most people are going to want to make different changes, and the reasons why they're more secure by default has nothing to do with them caring about security. It has more of, they want less problems with the home users. So home's a little bit less secure by default because it's more wide open, I guess. It's a little more lax with like firewall rules and such. And I think they also do don't include like virtualization security, which again, we're splitting hairs here. It's not a big difference either way. Like I said, I can make a home system far more secure than a pro system or an enterprise system. It's all about configuration. So don't take that as, hey, I need this version of Windows to be secure. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's just out of the gate, some of the settings are a little bit more sane. So I need to specify that. Yeah, so what I would do, like, for those that actually care about security on Windows, all 5 of you people out in there, let's say, I always like to link this project. Simon on security makes it, on security, what is it? No, I've linked it a bunch in chat. Harden tools. This isn't it, is it? No. Okay, no. Where's the harden tools? Here we go. Harden tools. Okay, it wasn't Simon on security. Yeah, this is it. Harden tools. WinUtil isn't a program. Every time you launch it, it grabs the latest version. So whenever you type it, it's just grabbing the raw winutil.ps1 file from GitHub. It's never installed. But the hardened tools are actually good for you security people out there that actually care about it. All right, that's good. That's good. And the moment of truth. We didn't get any errors this time around. I actually have hope. I think we can just type temp, %temp. That should give the environmental print temp folder. And then, yeah, not working. I'll do a little bit more offline. I'll troubleshoot it a bit more, guys. I have to run. I got a 4:30 I got to take care of. But I really like where this is going. I feel like we're right there. We're going to get it. We're going to solve this custom ISO, debloat, and get it. The Microwin portion of the project I think is really kind of cool. Yeah, and I think the hard-coded stuff, like I said, this is more of a, I just grabbed the PR. This is all in the test branch, and it's not ready for the main branch just yet. I went ahead and accepted the commit because I was like, we're gonna make this work. I really like the idea of it, and I think a lot of people would benefit greatly from it. So that's why it's not quite there yet. We might refactor it a bit. We might change it. It's definitely going to be changed quite a bit here up. I probably will go ahead and do the commit here. Let's see. I think we're just doing the try catches. I might just go ahead and push that forward. We can ignore this file. WinUtil, sure. Microwin fixes. Still a long ways to go on this one, but we're getting there. I'm just gonna go ahead and push that up to the test branch, so people can pull down my changes, scrutinize them, fix it, whatever. And we'll test it out some more coming up here next week. And I'll probably try and hit it up more this weekend because it kind of bugs me when I leave something a little bit out there that's not quite fixed. So I'm gonna be thinking about it. But right now I'm gonna go work out. I'll see you guys later. Next week's stream's gonna be a little bit weird because I do have my day job on Tuesday, so we're not gonna have a Tuesday stream. Probably I'll have a Wednesday stream actually, and I don't know if we'll see if we get another stream in during the week. We might do a Monday, depending if I want to do a main video on the main channel. It depends on how far this goes because I want to get Microwin all buttoned up. If I can get that all done, maybe this weekend we'll do another stream specifically over Microwin, getting it all worked out. Right now I just can't think very well, and sometimes it goes like that, you know. All right, y'all, take it easy. See you in the next one, hopefully this weekend, at the very least next Wednesday. Later.